So common that the people that have these problems don't know. You would think that we would all learn the common signs and symptoms of a pending heart attack that's getting ready to happen. We might, if there were any. You will hear people talk about, oh, this is a sign of a pending heart attack, or that's a sign. The bottom line is, if you're waiting for a sign to tell you about heart attack to prevent it, I hope you're feeling lucky. Because for most people, there are none, or that's a sign. The bottom line is, if you're waiting for a sign to tell you about heart attack to prevent it, I hope you're feeling lucky.
Look, scams are out there, so be careful. If you put something on Gumtree, I put something on Gumtree yesterday, 3 scams in a row. Who knows, I haven't got an actual customer yet, but they came up fast.
Experiment in which rats were engineered to have no dopamine, and the scientists discovered that if they put food in the rat's mouth, the rat would eat, but if you put the food even a body length away, the rat will starve to death.
Bar 94. Much younger crowd this end of town. Woolshed's just around the corner. PJ O'Brien's over there. Istanbul Cafe, awesome kebabs.
In fact, half of heart attacks begin with sudden death. These people don't get a second chance. But believe it or not, there's a huge opportunity here. You think of sudden death happening like lightning striking out of the blue. A couple of really good medical institutions have done a lot of research on this, and they're clear that's not what's happening. It is sort of like that lightning out of the blue. It's a Hollywood myth, maybe an urban myth.
It's your danger in the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Something is moving out of bed. Why don't you come on over, baby?
Lightning really doesn't happen out of blue sky. It happens in a storm with clouds, wind, and rain. Guess what? Sudden cardiac death and heart attacks are the same way. They don't happen out of the clear blue. They happen in the middle of a metabolic storm.
Last set, group therapy. It's gonna go off. Last set.
Did you know that half of heart attacks present, their first sign or symptom is sudden death? These people don't get a second chance. That's 50%, 5 out of 10, half of them. And the worst part is, the test that most doctors use, the stress test, that cannot predict heart attack.
Anyway, I got 2 rims for my Volkswagen Golf today, $100 for two rims. I'll get some tyres and get back into affordable transport. I do feel a bit trapped not having an affordable car to drive around in. I've got my ute, it's awesome, but it's just different, and you got to watch blowing smoke in people's faces. It's just easier with my Volkswagen Golf.
Now, here's the question. If there's a storm that precedes these heart attacks, why don't people recognize that storm? Could we recognize it? And if we could we actually even intervene?
We need better doctors, prevention.
That would have a lot of promise. And let me tell you, we can.
Yep, we can.
I'll show you how to recognize the storm. Why stress tests don't predict heart attacks.
The reality is, people breaking into my house was a huge thing for me. Come back to on Saturday night. The fact that someone disrespectful could smash so violently into my house and then spend time in my house. I'm really still pissed about it. Things change. Gloves are off now. I'll be doing everything to retaliate if someone comes at me again. I'm really, really pissed about it. It makes me uneasy. It's going to change a lot of things. A lot of things changed when the thieves came to my house. But anyway, it's a good night. I'll get over all of these things. It made life harder for me, but what do? Life goes on. It's all good. Dance floor's pumping.
And let me give you an example. This is a typical story. You probably have heard of this event. Let's go through the details and see if you can guess. The setting is Washington, D.C. The date was April 29, 2008.
2008.
The office of Dr. Michael Newman.
It's just been a nice atmosphere. The dance floor. It's coming to the end of an era for me. I'm gonna give up smoking pot. I don't want people smashing into my house because they're addicted to stuff like that. There'll be no alcohol, there'll be no pot. I probably should have done this before I ended my FIFO career so spectacularly.
Because he had been gaining weight. He had to eat out a lot as part of his job. He was a runner, a jogger, but didn't do a whole lot of high-intensity interval work or resistance work. They did the stress test, and it was normal. They changed his meds from an ACE inhibitor to an ARB, and again, you don't have to remember any of these technical terms. The patient went back to work. 6 weeks later...
Doctors shouldn't be sued. That helps the legal industry. It should be a meritocracy. They should be treated like they're doing a bad job. Not sued, just looked upon like you need to lift your game.
At 1:40, and he arrived at the hospital at 1:44. 3 shocks were administered en route to the hospital. He arrived at Sibley Memorial Hospital and was pronounced dead at 2:23 p.m. The autopsy showed soft plaque, a clot in the LAD. You've heard of it, the Widowmaker. That's the place where if you're going to get plaque in the arteries of the heart, it's the most likely place. Now, look at what...
Brewer therapy. It was good therapy. I got home and no one had broken in. And you know what? For the first time, for 3 times I'm going out, I didn't get pulled over by the police, didn't get breathed, didn't get tested. I left at 12. If you want to pick up, as you see, I'm here alone. I think if you want to pick up, if you haven't done it while you're on the dance floor, listen to the band. I think the best time to pick up is from 12 onwards. The witching hours. It's when people get drunker and more inhibitions go. The band stops and I go.
He was the longest running host and the most loved.
Well, he doesn't look too metabolically healthy to me.
A Washington, D.C. politician and show videos of 3 years ago and say, well, wait a minute, this is what you said you were going to do. You're not doing anything like that. That's what the public loved Tim Russert for doing.
Only filmed a little bit of groove therapy, but they were as good as any other band, and the reaction, dance floor reaction was excellent. They're a good fun band. I'm just used the previous month or so as practice filming bands. I'm not really a band music videographer. I pretty much moved on from that. It was good relax. It was good practice. When I go into the younger parts of Cairns with the younger nightclubs, the people are far more reactive to the camera. You pull it out and someone jumps in it. It might be my focus from now on in. There's more people. I like to film people. I like to get people reactions. The Bar 36 is easy going and it's fun and it's good exercise, and I still will keep using like that, I guess. Drink water on the dance floor, dance like a maniac. I've got to start getting better videos, and I think it might be at the other end of town.
He walked over to the sound room to do some voiceovers. On the way, he greeted the editing supervisor, Candace Harrington, and he said, "What's happening?" Those were his last words.
What you doing?
He collapsed, and you know the rest of the story. He'd been the host of Meet the Press since 1991. Passion, research, ability to find clips of inconsistencies.
He doesn't look real well to me.
Endeared him to the country and the whole world. A plaque had ruptured and ended those interviews in his life.